There are only two things to consider when determining how often you should run. The first thing to consider is what distance you're training for. That's if you're training for a race anyway. As you may expect, if you're training for a marathon or a half marathon, you'll probably need to run more often than if you're training for a shorter race. If you're training for, let's say, a 10k or further, running 3 times per week is probably ideal, with one of those runs being a longer run. And the singularly most important thing to consider that no one else can advise on, let alone some goof on the internet, and that's your priorities. So while most long distance training plans will say the more often you can run the better, within reason, don't be led to believe that if you can't run 3 or more times per week, that you're not doing enough. Enough is what you're capable of doing, both out on the road and in life. If you have a full-time job, a commute, a family, a packed social calendar, holidays scheduled for the rest of the year, well then only you can determine how many runs per week is enough. If you're trying to squeeze in more runs when your schedule or your mental load is already at capacity, it can only lead to burnout and a general unenjoyment of your training. If, however, you're anything like me and have a semi-flexible work schedule and no considerable commitments for the next few months, well then, if you want to, you can prioritise your training higher. But don't feel obliged or forced to do that if you can't prioritise it. Successful marathons have been run on only 2 runs per week. The way I see it, running is a holistic hobby. It can help us both mentally and physically. And as so, we should be empowered to fit the sport within our life, not our life within the sport. I hope you're able to find enjoyment in your training, and no matter if you're training for a 5k or a marathon, if you're on once a week or every single day, have a happy day everybody. Keep running.